everybody. This is Dr. Peter Glidden with Fire Your MD Now. I'm a friendly neighborhood naturopathic physician, licensed physician for 23 years, talking to you today and every weekday from 4 to 5 Central Time about science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery. These are medical treatments, holistically oriented, science-based, clinically verified medical treatments that your MD, your drug doctor, is completely clueless about, and more's the pity. I do my very best to roll back the curtain, to pull back the curtain on the medical industry in the United States, because generally speaking, we don't have any perspective on it. You know, we're so used to the type of medicine that exists here. We're so culturally conditioned to just accept the misconception that the MD is the undisputed king of medicine. We miss the finer points, we miss the details, we miss the specifics which make all the difference. You know, MD-directed medical treatments are the leading cause of death in the United States. Most people miss that. While the MDs have been driving the bus of medicine for the last 100 years, heart disease has remained unchanged, cancer has remained unchanged, high blood pressure is rising, no pun intended. Alzheimer's has risen from obscurity to the 6th leading cause of death. Obesity is a huge problem. Again, no pun intended. We're going to talk about that today. Autism, 1 out of 88 kids now are born autistic, and the Department of Health and Human Services makes the prediction that this generation will be the shortest-lived generation in history. And from my perspective, all of these things have one root cause: MD-directed, reductionistic, pharmaceutical, and surgical treatment. MDs do not own medicine. They are trained in one aspect of medicine only, and that aspect of medicine is referred to as allopathic reductionism. Most people don't know this. Most people think that MDs just practice medicine. Well, that's why they're called medical doctors, right? Well, no. That was a brilliant marketing strategy. Whoever came up with the notion to call MDs MDs, it was brilliant. They don't own medicine. MDs shouldn't be called medical doctors. They should be called pharmaceutical doctors or allopathic doctors, because that's more in keeping with what they really do. And what they really do is really good for nasty infections like pneumonia most of the time. For surgery when it's absolutely necessary, not when you go into the hospital to deliver a baby and the gorked-out physician cuts your arms and legs off, as happened 2 months ago in Miami, Florida. When surgery is indicated, the stuff that they can do in the surgical theater now is just this side of miraculous. But most of the time, surgery isn't indicated, but your MD, only being trained in drugs and surgery, does not know this. This is common sense, folks. When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So what the heck? You go to see an MD, they're going to throw drugs and surgery at it because that's all that they have. And while they've been driving the bus, our health is getting worse. And what does the MD do? They blame you. Instead of turning the mirror back on themselves and saying, hey, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, we better revisit what we're doing because what we're doing isn't working. Instead of doing that, their hubris is so large, it's breathtaking. Breathtakingly large arrogance and hubris, because instead of turning the mirror on themselves, they blame you. Oh, you know, you're just too lazy. Oh, you know, you're not getting up and exercising. Or you have a bad gene. It's your genes that are causing the problem. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Whenever a medical professional tells you your condition is genetic, you want to pause, take a breath, take 2 steps forward towards them and say, really, doctor, what gene? Listen, we decoded the entire human genome a number of years ago. I want you to tell me specifically what gene is it that's causing my type 2 diabetes? What gene is it that's causing my arthritis? What's the gene, doctor? And they won't be able to tell you. And then they'll harumph and obfuscate and back up. You'll hear the beeps as they're backing up. Oh, well, we presume it's genetic. Yeah, well, there's a great deal of difference between it is genetic and we presume it's genetic. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what you don't know. And you don't get heart disease, you don't get high blood pressure, you don't become obese, you don't get fibromyalgia or anxiety and panic attacks or heartburn because you have a bad gene. You don't get these things because you're getting older. You don't get these things because you have a prescription medicine deficiency, right? You don't have insomnia because you have a Lunesta deficiency. You're not depressed because you have a Prozac deficiency. You don't have high blood pressure because you have a hydrochlorothiazide deficiency, and you don't have heartburn because you have a Prilosec deficiency. You don't. Snap out of it. The only reason that these conditions have shown up is because your body has run out of the stuff that it needs to keep that part of your body healthy. It's that simple. We are laboring under the false notion. I don't know who started this, but we've all just accepted it without question, and it's wrong, and it's killing us. We labor under the false notion that the human body can get all of the stuff it needs to maintain its health from food. You can't. It's impossible. You cannot do it. There are things we need to do in order to maintain our health, in order to survive on planet Earth. Got to live in houses, got to build houses, got to build dwellings, got to protect ourselves against the elements, got to heat them, got to cool them. We have to do that. We have to find water, we have to purify it, we have to remove the nasty bugs in the water and swallow it every day. We need to find a system that eliminates our waste. We need to develop sewage treatment plants so we all don't get cholera, like they did in Paris in the 17th century, all over Europe. We need to do these things. There's one more thing we need to do to survive on planet Earth. We need to scour the planet, find the 91 essential nutrients that the human body needs to survive. We need to collect them, purify them, and put them together in sophisticated recipes which are easy for the body to survive. There are 91 essential nutrients that your body needs to maintain its health. If you do not get them, it is just a matter of time until something breaks. Look, if you don't put oil in your car, if you have a slow oil leak, you're losing a thimbleful of oil a day, it's only a matter of time until the engine seizes. If you don't replace the oil, the engine's going to seize because all the oil's going to leak out. Well, in addition to not swallowing, not taking, not securing the 91 essential nutrients, just thinking that we can get them all from food, in addition to that misconception, we are unwittingly consuming food every day that leaches the small amount of nutrients that the human body does have out. Soda pop, for example, the phosphoric acid in Coca-Cola, root beer, Sprite, ginger ale, leaches minerals from your system. High sugar diets, high protein diets leach minerals from your system. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats. That's right, folks. Whole grains are one of the worst foods you can eat. You heard it here first. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats mess up, gum up, and destroy the tissue in your small intestine that absorbs nutrition. So where does all of this lead to? It leads to the sobering fact that every single solitary day, unless you smarten up, listen to Dr. Glidden, listen to Dr. Wallach, change your diet, take your supplements, unless you do that, every single solitary day, your system is losing nutrients, losing nutrients, losing nutrients. Something breaks. You get an illness. You go to an MD. He tells you it's genetic and throws a drug at it. And that's why we die. But first, we suffer. And then we die. Now, when it comes to obesity, this is easy. And this is the secret to weight loss that not even Oprah knows. Obesity is a deficiency disease. Your body is smart. Your body-mind, that's what we refer to it as in holistic medicine, your body-mind knows that it needs 91 essential nutrients. It knows what the levels are like. It knows when your tank starts to get empty. And when your nutrient tank starts to get empty, when you're running on nutrient fumes, your central nervous system freaks out. And it makes you eat. It makes you eat in the desperate attempt to fill that nutrient tank up. Only problem is the food that you're eating doesn't have what you need. So you go to Olive Garden, there's 3,000 calories, you eat them all down, and 2 hours later you're hungry again. And then your knucklehead MD tells you you're lazy, or tells you it's genetic, or tells you that you're depressed, or tells you that your stomach's too big and they have to cut half of it out or put a lap band around it. You've got to be kidding me, because exactly the same thing happens in horses and happens in cows. It's called cribbing or pica. It's an uncontrollable need to eat in horses and cows. When it happens in horses, they'll eat stones, they'll eat the wood on their fence, they'll eat poop, they'll eat anything they can. Cows will eat other cows. It is an uncontrollable need to eat in horses and cows. Now tell me something. Did the horse have an uncontrollable need to eat because it had an alcoholic father? Did the cow have an uncontrollable need to eat because it was a lazy ass? Is that the reason? Did the cow or the horse need to have a gym membership? Did they need to get up an extra hour early and go exercise? Is that why? Did they have a stomach that was too big? Were they depressed? Is that really why? Or was it a bad gene? Maybe it was a bad gene. Heck no. It's a bad doctor. Obesity is your doctor's fault. Your MD is supposed to be the guy, the go-to person in charge of your health with the answers, and they have dropped the ball on this one. 30% of adults in this country are obese. 30% of our children are obese. The obesity epidemic in kids is outpacing every other illness. It is a giant problem, no pun intended. Your MD is completely ill-equipped, unable, and incompetent in this regard. And when we come back on the other side of the break, I am going to tell you how to fix your weight, because it is easier to maintain, to secure and maintain healthy body weight than it is to fall off a log. If health is wealth, America is going bankrupt. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 1/3 of adults and 1/6 of children in America are obese. In the past 20 years, obesity rates doubled for adults and tripled for children. If these trends continue, by the time today's kids become adults, obesity will be the norm and healthy weight the exception. You don't believe me? Just go to the mall and look around. You know, it's like the chubby fest. Everybody's overweight. Because everybody's overweight, everybody thinks that's just normal. Everybody thinks that's just life. You know what? Maybe it is a bad gene, right? Look around. Everybody's got it. The only reason that everybody's overweight is the same reason that everybody has arthritis and everybody has type 2 diabetes and everybody has high blood pressure and everybody has fibromyalgia and everybody's health is going to hell in a handbasket. Because everybody goes to MDs. That's why we're sick. Because the majority of chronic illnesses are caused by nutrient deficiencies, and overweight, obesity, being overweight and being obese are no exceptions. So, as I was talking about before, your body has wisdom. Now, your MD, being a reductionist, has to follow the laws of Newtonian physics. Newtonian physics argues that if it can't be measured, it doesn't exist. So, since nobody has ever dissected the soul out of the human body, since nobody has ever dissected the spirit out of the human body, since nobody has ever dissected wisdom out of the human body, or seen it, discovered it, or portrayed it, uncovered it with some type of technology, an X-ray or a CT or an MRI, therefore to the reductionistic, allopathic, Newtonian centrist MD, it doesn't exist. If you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. Love, according to MDs, is a simple chemical process. That's, by the way, that's how MDMA, which is also called ecstasy, was developed. MDMA is a chemical which makes you feel emotionally open and emotionally attached to people that are around you. It was developed for work with psychiatric medicine for people that were having intimacy issues, because you can change your biochemistry with chemicals to make you feel any number of different things. You can change your biochemistry with biochemicals to make you feel angry or to make you feel in love, and therefore, since you can induce those changes chemically, the MD makes the assumption, the leap, that therefore all emotions in the human body are biochemical, and it's nonsense. We believe that consciousness is a function, that biochemistry is a function of consciousness. MDs believe that consciousness is a function of biochemistry. There's a great deal of difference, and I'll be talking about these distinctions next week. When it comes to obesity, here's what's necessary to do. The only thing that's necessary to do is give your body the 91 essential nutrients that it needs. That's it. Your body has wisdom. It knows when it's running on fumes. It knows when it's got a half a tank. It knows when it's got a full tank. So the only thing necessary for you to do is to take one healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Purchase one healthy start pack. Go to fireyourmdnow.com. Go to the online store. Purchase one healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight. So if you're 150 pounds, you get 2 healthy start packs in the first month and 1 healthy start pack the second month. If you're 200 pounds, you get 2 healthy start packs. It's that simple. Plus, 1 bottle of liquid plant minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 healthy start pack and 1 bottle of liquid plant minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. The combination of those 4 nutritional supplements, because there are 3 products in the Healthy Start Pack. 3 products in the Healthy Start Pack plus 1 liquid plant minerals for a total of 4. The combination of those 4 nutritional supplements provide your body all of the nutrition that it needs to fill its nutritional tank and regulate and maintain its health. When you take that combination of nutritional supplements, it will be the first time in your life that your body has been completely nutrified, and that is a game changer. And that's all that you need to do. You need to download the Good Food, Bad Food diet, stop eating the bad foods, nutrify your system, and then dial in a 1,200 calorie a day diet. When you dial in a 1,200 calorie a day diet and your body is completely nutrified, it's a breeze. You don't get hungry between meals, you feel great, and the pounds just fall away. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what you don't know, and when it comes to weight loss, this is the secret that not even Oprah knows. Host Dr. Peter Glidden, your friendly neighborhood naturopathic physician, pulling back the curtain on everything having to do with big pharma and modern American medicine and showing you, dragging you into the light of medical nutrition. Now, we have a caller, and I'm going to get to him in just a second. But before we do that, I want just to say this one thing, because this really sticks in my craw. People will say to me all the time, Dr. Glidden, I'm skeptical about those vitamins. Dr. Glidden, I'm a skeptical person by nature, and I need to see the facts about those vitamins. I need to see the research about all that stuff, Dr. Glidden. I'm a skeptic. Well, no, you're not. You're not skeptical. You're a closed-minded conformist. If you were skeptical, you never would have bought medical insurance in the first place. You never would have taken a prescription medicine in the first place, in the second place. If you were skeptical, you would have asked your MD all of these nitpicky questions you're asking me about, the prescription medicine, what are the side effects, how is it made, what's the profit motive, how much are you going to make from this, what about the company that made it, what's their track record, are there any lawsuits pending with that company, with the FDA, what's the deal with the FDA and pharmaceutical companies anyway, how come people that the FDA hires to advise them on the safety and efficacy of drugs work for the drug companies, how does that work? Doctor, I want you to tell me about how this medicine's going to work. Is it going to cure my condition? Is it going to manage my condition? And what about all the side effects? And when I get side effects from this medicine, what do you intend to do about it? You would have done all that, but you don't. People just do whatever their MD tells them to, and then they turn around and they question us all the time, and it drives me crazy. We all need to snap out of it collectively, ladies and gentlemen. You're not skeptical. If you were skeptical, you wouldn't own medical insurance. You wouldn't go to an MD. You just wouldn't. You know how many people died last year from vitamins? 0. 0. You know how many people died from prescription medicines? 790,000. 15,000 a month are killed. Medicare patients are killed a month. When you don't bat an eyelash. 3,000 people die in 9/11 and we go to war. 15,000 people a month are killed, Medicare patients a month are killed by MD treatments, and we keep shuffling off to the MD. For goodness sake, it drives me crazy. I could go on, but I want to get right to the phone to help out Jim from Missouri, I think. His son-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. Holy smokes. Hello, Jim. How can I help?
Hello. Need to know, like I said, he was suggested to use the longevity line of products. And I was wondering what was in the longevity products and also what you would recommend for the platelet problem and the hemoglobin problem, just the overall dealing with the cancer.
Well, is it leukemia?
No, it's not leukemia, but they're saying that it has possibly metastasized to his bloodstream.
Where is the locus of the cancer right now?
The original cancer is in the rectum.
Yeah, so it's rectal cancer. I had a patient that had rectal cancer about a year and a half ago, and she went in for a radiation treatment against my recommendations. They burned a hole through the rectum into the vaginal vault, and she died of an infection, not from the cancer. And
right.
The doctors that did the treatment didn't go to jail. Now, I got to tell you this. Number one, Jim, thank you so much for calling. It is against the law for anybody in the United States except an oncologist to treat cancer. I want you to think about that one long and hard. You can't treat cancer in the United States unless you're an oncologist. Can you imagine that? That's why there are no alternative cancer treatment centers in the United States. They don't exist. And by the way, Cancer Treatment Centers of America, which portrays itself on TV as an alternative cancer treatment, well, they're not. I know the guy that set up all the naturopathic programs at Cancer Treatment Centers of America. I went to school with them. The Cancer Treatment Centers of America uses naturopathic treatments as adjunctive, secondary, and tertiary treatments to bolster the health and reduce the side effects of conventional radiation, chemo, and surgery so the patients can have more radiation, chemotherapy, and surgery, because the more radiation, the more chemo they get, the more profit the cancer center makes. So they're not treating cancer with alternative therapies. They're using alternative therapies to negate some of the side effects and to soften the blow of conventional medical treatments, and there should be a law, for goodness sake. So, Jim, I can't advise you or anybody else about what to do for cancer because that's against the law. But if it were me and I was diagnosed with cancer, here's what I would do in order to support and promote the overall health of my body and give myself a fighting chance. Because from our point of view, from the holistic point of view, you don't get rectal cancer because you have a rectum. You don't get breast cancer because you have a breast. You don't get lung cancer because you have a lung. And there's no gene that codes for cancer. I'm going to do a whole week, one of these months, about all of this genetic nonsense. Now, I believe in chromosomes. I believe in genes. That's not where I'm going with this stream of thought. But you have been fed a lot of false notions by MDs about the genetic nature of illnesses. And the information that you've been fed is not supported by the literature. It is my supposition and the supposition of a number of my colleagues that the genetic stuff that MDs are telling you about cancer is not a gene. It's chromosomal damage that has been misinterpreted as a gene. I don't believe that there is a gene that codes for cancer. I believe it's chromosomal damage. It's an area of chromosomal damage which has been misinterpreted as a gene, and the chromosomal damage was caused by not enough nutrition. So, in order to support and promote the health of the human body, especially the immune system, because the immune system needs to be Johnny on the spot in order to help the body fight off cancer cells. And I know there's a lot of controversy that, the stronger the immune system, the stronger you're going to make the cancer, because there are certain types of cancer that wall themselves off against the immune system, and the stronger the immune system, the more structural integrity the tumor cells have. Well, I don't care about that. Here's what I would do if I had an active diagnosis of cancer in order to support and promote the health of my body. I would do 1 anti-aging healthy start pack per 100 pounds per month, 1 anti-aging healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. I would do 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month, 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month, and I would do as many bottles of Fucoid Z. That's F like Frank, U, C, O, I, D like David, Z like Zebra. Fucoid Z. I would do as many bottles of Fucoid Z a month as I can afford. Fucoid Z is a nutritional supplement extracted from a sea algae, which grows on rocks underwater, and there have been over 600 studies published on the action of fucoidin, which is the active ingredient in Fucoid Z. One of the things that fucoidin has been shown to do is it promotes apoptosis, which is pre-programmed cell death. So fucoidin has been shown to have a negative impact on the growth of tumor cells, right? So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to follow the research. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to clean up my diet. I'm going to go to fireyourmdnow.com and download the document, Good Food, Bad Food. It's free. Download that document, and all the foods on the bad food list, stop eating yesterday. Get 1 anti-aging healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 bottle of liquid plant minerals per 100 pounds of body weight, 4 bottles of selenium, and as much Fucoid Z as you can afford per month. Take those supplements every day, like your life depended on it. And also, you know, this seems like shameless commerce, but it's not, because we are involved with education dissemination, Jim. I wrote a book. You can buy it on the website at a discounted rate. It's called The MD Emperor, right? The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. I have a chapter in there about cancer. And in that chapter, there are 10 questions that every cancer patient should ask their oncologist. It's 10 simple questions. Because remember, medicine in the United States is a for-profit machine. And when you're looking for cancer treatment, when you are approximating cancer treatment, you should go into it with the same mindset as you do when you're buying a car. You don't just go to a car dealership and buy the first car they sell you. You want to kick the tires and open the doors and drive it around and get the stats. How many miles to the gallon? What type of a track record does this car have, right? You need to get informed. But people don't ask their oncologist the tough questions. They don't ask them. They just do whatever the oncologist does because they think the oncologist knows best, but they don't. So really, I would encourage you to get a copy of The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. Read the chapter on cancer and ask your oncologist or, your son-in-law's oncologist ask him those 10 questions. And here's a sample of the questions. Well, and this isn't all 10. I'm just going to give you the top 3. Doctor, this therapy that you're recommending I take for my cancer, what's your cure rate with this therapy? How many people with my type of cancer have you cured with this therapy? Well, doctor, you can't cure my cancer. Well, what can I expect? What can I expect as an outcome from this cancer treatment? What can I expect? And I would like to talk to 5 patients who have had my type of cancer and have undergone your treatments. I want to talk to them and find out what their experience has been. And also, doctor, I'd like to know how much money you're going to personally profit from this cancer treatment and how much money this hospital is going to profit from my cancer treatment. These are just a sampling of the questions. And, they're just legitimate, honest questions. You don't have to be an idiot or a knucklehead when you're asking the doctor this, and you don't have to ask it to him with attitude. You just ask him these questions. The same way that you'd ask an automobile dealer questions about the car, and you need to get informed. I've had patients kicked out of the oncologist's office for asking these questions, for having the audacity to ask these questions to an oncologist. It is crazy what we put up with here in the United States. And, also, Jim, really what needs to happen here is your son-in-law has to be the guy that's calling this radio station, right? Because if he gets this information secondhand, it's not going to have as much impact. I appreciate your taking the step on his behalf, and there's always someone in the family that leads the charge. There's always someone in the family that's ahead of the curve. The real problem here, like the fella said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? The real problem here is getting your son or your son-in-law or your daughter or your wife or your sister or your brother into the light, to get them to understand, listen, there are limits to conventional pharmaceutical medicine, and it's dangerous, and guess what? There are alternatives. There are alternatives. The problem that we have with cancer treatment is because there are no alternative cancer treatments allowed to legally exist in the United States, we don't have statistics. So I can't tell you this many rectal cancer patients treated with Fucoidan Z and the longevity supplements for overall health had this type of a recovery program, because we're not allowed by law to do that. You got to go to Mexico, you got to go to Europe for these stats, and even those countries don't have it dialed in. I wish I had a better answer for you, Jim. I really do. But if I was struggling with a health issue like that, that's what I would do. Give it a try and give us a call back with your feedback, because we are here to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, where does the time go, ladies and gentlemen? The last segment of the last day of the week. I don't know. Man, time flies when you're having fun. My heart goes out to Jim from Missouri. Cancer's a tough one. Cancer is 1,000 times easier to prevent than it is to treat. I'll give you an example. My colleague, Dr. Wallach, had to sue the FDA so that we can say what I'm about to say without being thrown in jail. You ready? You want to write this one down? And it's available on the website, fireyourmdnow.com. 200 micrograms of selenium. Selenium is a mineral like calcium. It's cheaper than dirt because it's made from dirt. 200 micrograms of selenium taken daily reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%, prostate cancer 69%, colorectal cancer, which is what Jim's son-in-law had, by 64%, and lung cancer by 39%, even if you're a smoker. Now, number one, why did we have to sue the FDA to be able to say this legally, publicly? Number two, why weren't you taught this in grade school? You know what this means? If every girl in the United States took one 200 microgram capsule of selenium a day in one generation, breast cancer would be eliminated by 82%. If every man took it, if every boy took it, colorectal cancer would be eliminated by 64%, or prostate, by 69%. And if everybody in the United States took it, colorectal cancer and lung cancer would also be eliminated by large percentages. Because this one supplement reduces the occurrence of these cancers, which is much harder to do, by the way, than, that's a hard thing to do. Is reduce the occurrence of cancer. Stop it from happening in the first place. It's quintessential preventive medicine. Now, if you want to align yourself with a nutritional supplement company that sued the FDA to be able to say that, we're your men. This is what we do. This is why the Longevity Company exists. The founder of Longevity, Dr. Joel Wallach, sued the FDA to secure a qualified health claim against selenium so that we can say this. He sued the FDA 8 times. If you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired and you want to align yourself with the rising star in medical nutrition, if you want to get on board with a cutting-edge nutritional supplement company to help lift yourself, your family, your friends, your community members, your church members into health, then go to fireyourmdnow.com and join us. Just click on the Join Us button and follow the steps. It's easy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are building a grassroots coalition of the informed to help to spread this word, our good word of health recovery through medical nutrition, because people in this country are suffering needlessly. It's all drugs and surgery all the time here in the United States. It's all MD-directed nonsense all of the time here in the United States. There are only a handful of licensed naturopathic physicians with clinical experience who are in the know about real stuff, real pragmatic steps you can take to secure your health and lift yourself up. There's only a handful of us. We need your help. That's why Dr. Wallach set Youngevity up as a networked business. Join us, and we will teach you Dr. Wallach's health recovery methods. They're easy. We will show you how to turn your friends and family members onto these methods because it's easy to do. There's a way to show people this information that makes them run to you, and there's a way to show people this information that makes them run away from you. If you ever wanted to join a cause, if you ever wanted to be a part of something that's going to generate real social change, this is it. Join us, ladies and gentlemen, because as God is my witness, we need your help. Check us out. FireYourMDNow.com. FireYourMDNow.com. Click on the Join Us button. You're going to love it. We need the help. We're all in this together. We need to stand fast, stand tall, hold each other's hands, and lift ourselves up into health and wealth. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. Looking forward to seeing you right here next week from 4 to 5 Central Time, GCNlive.com. Check me out. Fire your MD now. Same bad time, same bad station next week. See you then.